Hello everybody, happy Friday! Hope you're doing very well. And today it's a little bit of a special one because we're celebrating 3,000 subscribers with hopefully what's going to be a very special shirt for you and, well, I suppose maybe more importantly for me. It's one I've had in this office now for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. Been waiting for a special moment. And I think that's the case. But firstly, of course, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's subscribed over the years. I appreciate most people have come and gone. That's just the nature of social media and YouTube. But it's always been something that I've always just had a casual approach to. I've never really been bothered about growing it into a behemoth. It's just a little bit of fun, and hopefully that the people who are watching now, you watching this video now, do find some entertainment, some education from these videos. So this here is quite a big little parcel. Now it's got on the front, it's got Pro Direct Soccer sort of taping on. That's something to bear in mind because it's yeah, it's an interesting purchase, should I say. It's a little bit different to what I would do, and I did spend quite a bit of money. So it's quite well packaged. So I've kind of cut away a little bit, so it should be a little bit easier to get into it. But this should really be one of the best shirts in my collection. It's a little bit of a grail. Okay, let's just do it. Let's stop waffling and get into it. So, the seal has been broken. Here it is. So, what is going to be in a rather large box? Is it going to be something that's also a box? May well be. So let's just put that to the side, and we have packing peanuts, and then we also have the Pro Direct Soccer invoice with a little bit cut off. Why would Pro Direct Soccer do that? Well, I didn't buy it directly from Pro Direct Soccer. I had to buy it from somebody else. So they've kind of cut away their own personal information, but you can still see it has the invoicing there. So very cool. It's useful because that proves the authenticity of this particular shirt. But we'll set that aside. Okay then. So what have we got here? We have definitely a box. It comes in the parcel. Let's remove that. And for some, this may be, maybe including myself, the most impressive part. So we have this box here. Now again, depending on the... There we go. So you've got some text on the front. You've got simply a number, a year of founding, and then you've got some sort of design, sort of like here. That's meant to represent smoke. So on the front it says 1891, and then on the side some information about the club. So if we open this up, what is going to be inside? It's Russian dolls. It's another box. It's boxes within boxes. So I mean, let's just see the first thing there. Be a crest probably a good amount of you will be familiar with. So let's try and get this out without causing too much chaos. Okay, so we've got boxes within boxes within boxes. Let's just set that aside. Don't fall over. Okay. There it is. So we've got the solid front that we saw. Side we have Nike, swoosh Nike. Year of founding. And then the same thing again. So this is going to open up, I presume, this way. This is a high quality box. Lovely detailing. Set that to the side. Set that to the side. Are we going to have another box within a box? Surely not. Oh no, it looks like we've got so we've got the continuation of the graphic, and then here we've got a little bit of thing to lift up. Da-da-da. Wow. I mean, it's just beautiful. Really well put together. And then we have some detailing on the inside of the box. Some information going on there. So, we have a shirt. Wonderful box. Put down here. Probably have an idea of who this is already. But let's have a look at the shirt. There it is. It's all black in design. On the back there we have some text, which if you're familiar with the club, you know what that is all about. And it is the sort of theme of this particular shirt. Bring it round to the front. And there we go. Wonderful, wonderful design. It's blacked out with this sort of silver detailing, sort of a shiny, almost glittery detailing. You've got the club's year of founding on the front. You've got the club crest. And then, of course, you've got the Nike swoosh with the Nike involved. It is a medium slim fit. And then we have the tags, which are lovely, well put together. Continuation with that overall design. So let me dress the mannequin and I'll come back to you and explain to you why I decided that this one was going to be the shirt that I would wait for a special occasion like now. Okay then, so there is the shirt, and it fits on the mannequin. It is a slim fit, and it's a player spec material also, so it's always going to be a little bit tighter than usual, but it looks beautiful. I mean, I think it personally looks beautiful. Some people might think it's over-engineered, but, you know, it is what it is. It's what I prefer. Who is the club? Well, I think most of you will be familiar right now. It is AIK Football from Sweden, and it's their Smokinglirara. That's a rough approximation of how you pronounce that. Football shirt released in 2025. I think it was around about February that it was released. I bought this one from eBay because I was unlucky with regards to the Pro Direct raffle. They hosted a raffle, Pro Direct Soccer. For whatever reason, they seem to get some allocation of these shirts. And you could sign up, try and enter, and I did. And of course, I wasn't successful, which means I wasn't able to pick it up at retail, which was, I think, about £90 or something about that. Instead, I ended up paying £187.85 for this shirt, so more than double the price of retail. I wasn't planning on doing that, to be honest. So obviously I saw that I'd missed out, and then I went, I'll have a look on eBay and see what people are doing, if people are reselling it, how many resellers got them. And there were quite a few, and they were roughly listed for around about 200, which, whilst not outrageous, it's still a hell of a lot more than what it would have been. And then for whatever reason, I saw that I had like a 10% code on eBay, so I saved £20, which means it dropped down to under 200, free shipping as well. And I just sort of sat there and thought, you know what, let's just go for it. I've always wanted one of these AIK special edition shirts. They do one generally every year. They're really well designed. They come in boxes. They're beautiful. For me, when it comes to the idea of the box shirt, the presentation shirt, the limited edition shirt, AIK probably is the front runner when it comes to that particular style. So for my collection to stand out as more as I can make it, I feel like I've always needed one of these, and it's always missing one of these ones. So when you put it all together, I made the purchase and it arrived. Of course, I wanted to make sure it was genuine. Now, I made the purchase not 3 days after it was probably released, so the likelihood of it being a sort of a duplicate, a fake, was very, very low. He showed me the copy of his emails, and obviously now the fact that I've got the invoicing and then the boxes have had Pro Direct on it, there was no time for that to be a worry. So I'm certainly confident that this is the genuine piece, specifically when you're spending that much money. The shirt was limited to 134 pieces, one for each year the club has existed. And I've always found that rather interesting, how Pro Direct Soccer have got an allocation in the UK, and then AIK get their own allocation. It's very strange. Whilst AIK are a big team in England, UK, it's not sort of at the front of my mind anyway, so it's very strange how they do that. And it's quite strange that my other special shirt from Sweden, the Broma Pojkarna shirt, which was limited to 100, also came through Pro Direct Soccer. So it'd be interesting to put them both together. I don't think there'll be anybody else that can say that they can do that. So Smokinglirara translates roughly to smoking player. And that's like an identity the club has kind of almost had, I wouldn't say since the beginning, but sort of the 20s and 30s. I suppose I'll have to be more specific, the 1920s, and sort of gone on forwards. And the idea is it's the player who wears the smoking jacket, the tuxedo, the gentleman who is humble but distinguished. But when he gets on the pitch, because obviously football generally started with the gentleman playing it before the working class kind of took over, and they would go on the pitch and they would give it all, and it would all be for the fans and try and sort of do the best. And that's generally how it's come about. So it's an identity the club is very proud to promote, and all during the sort of marketing it involved smoke and sort of all that sort of stuff. So it was pretty good, really, really nice. You can obviously see that it says it on the back of the shirt. The match, the shirt itself was worn in a match against IFK Värnamo, and the club won. So it's always nice when the club actually does win in their special shirts. And in fact, they were auctioning off the match-worn shirts, which probably would go to some sort of charity or foundation. Usually that's the case. So it's really, really nice. And the fact that this is the player spec is good. It kind of fits in with some of the other ones, including the one up there for Salzburg. That is also player spec. So, you know, if this was just a basic base layer, you know, you can pay £120, £130 for the player spec. So, you know, in my head, you get in there a little bit. Now, this is replacing a shirt that I already have. I don't have too many Swedish teams, but AIK is the one I did have. And this is the home shirt from 2014-15. Of course, it's got the home colours, the black and the yellow. Pretty simple in design from Adidas in that particular period. Obviously, they've changed to Nike. And you know what? I like the crest. I like the crest colours, you know, the blue and the yellow. It's probably better than that one. I think that one is cool, but I just like the original colours there. But I think when it comes to my collection, I've needed one of these, and that sort of stands out, and that makes sense when compared to this one here. Nice and clean, but I'm kind of pleased that I've been able to replace it. Obviously, I've mentioned that this club has released some special ones over the years. And it's one of those situations, again, exceptionally limited pieces, really well designed, beautiful in their own way, and most of them have been available to, well, attempt to buy for Pro Direct Soccer, raffles again, but most of the time they will go to resellers and scalpers, which is a shame, and of course they're on eBay making a profit. My warning to you would be, if you're interested in trying to pick up this one or any of the previous ones, be very careful when you're on eBay, because you can imagine shirts like this, rare ones, sort of ones that are quite popular, a lot of remakes, a lot of fakes going around. So if you're going to be spending hundreds of pounds on them, be careful. You may end up be spending a lot on a shirt that ultimately someone bought for £20 from, you know, God knows where, and you're getting something that is not quite genuine. So that's just something to bear in mind. It's tempting, of course, but you just got to be savvy with it and sort of judge it yourself, especially when considering a lot of these shirts are limited to very, very few pieces. Yet if you go on eBay, you can almost find more of them existing than there technically should be. So just be careful with that. It's not the rarest shirt I own. I have the Broma Poikana shirt, actually is the rarest at 100, which will actually be matched very soon with one I'm going to show you. But I'm very nice. It's a very nice shirt. I love the Nike and then the Nike swoosh. This is, I think, the first version I have of one of these. Again, I have something that's coming soon that I can show you, which will also have that. But it's just, yeah, it's cool. It's really smart, and it kind of will look really good in that amazing box when lined up with the other shirts that I have in here. But that's kind of it, really. There's not really much else I can say. Lovely shirt. But maybe more importantly, it's lovely that I have such an amazing audience, regardless of how small or how large it would be. I just enjoy creating these videos for you. We can learn about clubs, we can learn about shirts, maybe ones that we would never consider, and then every club always has its own little sort of quirks to develop. What we're on, 570 or something like that. We've still got plenty more shirts to come over the years, because years is definitely what we're measuring it in. And who knows, if anybody's still stuck around at that point, what the 1000th shirt would be. I'm sure it will have to be something quite remarkable. But that's it. I'm filming this video the afternoon, not long before Chelsea play their final Premier League game. So right now, I don't really know how to feel other than a little bit nervous. But probably by the time I get around to editing this, I will know if we have or haven't secured Champions League football for next season. Of course, I hope we do, but I'm not counting it as a guarantee right now. So we'll see how it goes. But that would be a great little celebratory cap if we can say that we've also qualified for Champions League. But that's it. I hope you have a great weekend ahead. Yeah, no more football. What do you do with that? At least with Chelsea, there is the Club World Championships, which is what it is, I suppose. Whatever. Boring, boring, boring. Maybe it might be exciting, but yeah, it's just a strange one. Thank you, as always, for watching my videos. Double thank you on this particular video. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!